Everybody has a generational pattern that they have to get over. And the only way to get over it is to go through it. And so to me, it was, I'm not smart enough, or, you can't be seen. You have to stay hidden to stay safe.
Hello there, and welcome to Wild and Finally Fucking Free, where midlife isn't a time of crisis, but a time of metamorphosis. Just like the journey through puberty and pregnancy to postpartum, our midlife transition is also a powerful portal of rebirth. The wise woman inside of us is calling, inviting us to slow down, to take stock, to speak our truth, to burn away all that no longer serves us, ready to step forward into our next phase of life. I'm your host, Kylie Fatchett, storyteller and midlife self-care coach, and together we'll unearth the real and raw stories of women who are right in the messy, magical middle, or have come out the other side, and the healers who help all of us through these crossroads of change. I hope that as you listen to these tales of breaking the ties that bind, shedding skins, and courageously chasing midlife dreams, that you too will answer the wise woman's invitation and set yourself wild and finally fucking free. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. We have another beautiful woman in the studio today. Hello, Elaine Glass. How are you?
Kylie, I'm super great to be here and can't wait to start this conversation.
Oh, so good. I said to you when I first connected with you this morning before we were recording that I've been reading through your website going, this is going to be a good, juicy conversation. So we are very grateful to have you here. Could you introduce your beautiful self to our listeners if they don't already know you?
Yes, thank you. I am a mother. I'm a mother first. And I have done a lot of things. So I've changed a lot of identities in my life. I would say right now, I am an author. And so I'm super excited to call myself author now. In the past, I've called myself a lot of things, but right now I'm an author to a new book called Get Quiet, and it's going to be released in a week. So that's what I'm up to right now. Yeah.
Oh, congratulations. I know how much work a book takes to write and bring into the world. And when I asked you how long you'd been working on her, you said a decade. And I'm like, yep, that sounds about right to me. Because when we're delivering our life's work, that's what happens, isn't it? All right.
That's right. That's right. It's been quite a decade of personal transformation, of awakening, of really tuning in to see what is it that I want for the second half of my life.
Yes.
And that takes a lot of focus and a lot of curiosity and a lot of grace and a lot of self-compassion.
Yep.
So that's what I've been doing for the last decade.
I am like right in the middle of doing the same thing. And I would say I would add to your list and say a lot of courage. Because a lot of the time we are called to let go of things that we have always had or always done, or you used the word identity before. And I love the concept that we can change our identity, because I do think sometimes we can get stuck in the like, I've always done it this way and I've always been this one and the roles that we play. What have been some of the biggest shifts that you've identity, and I always like to think of like identity morphing, it's like you don't lose one part of yourself, but you evolve into something different.
For me, it was having to change the conversation in my head that, well, I really want to write. I've always written. That's how I process things. I've kept a diary since I was 16.
Yeah.
All of these insights, all of these things I've written for my, last decade, like, what if they actually were valuable enough to become a book? So how do I get past the thinking mind that says, no, what? No, you're just a mom, or no. Remember you failed high school English, Elaine? No. Writing a book is not for you.
Yeah.
And it's this like having to go over and over all the ways that, no, this is for you. This actually could be for you. and to listen to the voices that are positive and loving. Because if you get quiet enough, you will hear them really clearly. And that's what I did to change my thinking.
Oh, I love that concept. The quiet and loving voice. I've been thinking about and also reading more about internal family systems. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's a way of kind of understanding different aspects of ourselves. And when you say the quiet voice, straight away, I think that's the authentic self, like the deepest, truest part of us that also knows all the magic and the power and all this magnificence that's inside of us. And then, as you say, the thinking mind, or what I would say, the lizard brain, the prehistoric try to keep me safe brain, is kind of sitting over the top of it going, oh, what do you reckon the brain, what do you reckon that voice of fear or doubt was trying to keep you safe from? Like, what was that about, really, when you get underneath it?
Oh gosh, that's such a great question, Kylie. Everybody has a story, and everybody has a generational pattern that they have to get over. And the only way to get over it is to go through it. And so to me, it was, I'm not smart enough, or, you can't be seen. You have to stay hidden to stay safe. And so it was all of these things that I had to get through and had to literally tell myself and prove to myself, no, that is not who you are. That is not the truth of who you are. So get quiet and figure out what it is that you really are here to do. And that's what I did. I went on a journey for a decade to really know who I was. And there's so many things that are blocking us from knowing that. Everything from our mental, emotional state to our health, to the environmental health. I mean, there's so many things in our way to knowing and being able to hear that still wise voice. And so I literally, for 10 years, I blasted through those obstacles.
Good.
So like good. One by one.
As you're talking, I'm thinking, quiet is so different to most people's average life, isn't it? There's lots of us who consume a lot of TV, a lot of social media, a lot of there's all this external competing noise that would have us think the world is a particular way. And then there's this still quiet voice that actually doesn't buy into that environment at all, or at least that's been my experience. And I wonder, especially actually for the generation of kids that my kids are part of they've had mobile phones, they haven't grown up with them, but they've had them since they were, teenagers. Are they ever going to hear their internal quiet voice when automatically it seems to be that, when you've got 2 seconds of spare, you're on a phone looking at external? That bothers me. That really worries me, actually, as I'm verbalizing that. How did you know to get quiet, though? Because as you're talking, I know that you've shared a little bit with me about leaving a marriage before, leaving a career before. How did you know that you needed to actually get quiet to be able to hear the voice? Because a lot of people don't even know that bit. Tell me about that journey.
Well, unfortunately, we learn things when your world is falling apart. And so that was the case for me. I had been going through a very difficult divorce. I became a single mother to 2 small sons, and my life was so loud and so fearful. There was so much uncertainty, and I had to get healthy for my kids, mind, body, and spirit really, really quickly. And all I wanted was for someone to just knock on my door and say, I'm here, I'll save you. And nobody came. So I had to save myself. And so I literally, intuitively figured out how to be the healthiest mother I could be to my kids. And that's where it all started. And they were my inspiration for getting healthy. And, kids are great imitators.
Yeah.
And so we as parents need to give them something great to imitate.
Yep.
And I would get quiet with them. We would have family dinners. We would have devices down. We would have, playing Frisbee in the park. Things that I did when I was a kid that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And so we have to show our kids that that is normal and that is healthy and that is important to maintain our natural state as a human being. So it's all about getting back to our natural state. And we have to awaken to that natural state. And that's what I think spirituality is.
Yeah. As you're talking, I'm thinking about the very first time I experienced I don't even know what language I would call it, but an absence of the loudness of my mind when I very first started doing yoga, when my kids were like quite little, like maybe 2 and 3. And I just got to the end of this class, and it was a new practice to me as well. So obviously there's like the beginner's mind and then the physicality of like even just following the directions and all of those things. But I got to the end of the class and I thought, that is the quietest I have felt on the inside ever in my life. And that was the very first time I think that I understood consciously that all of the stuff in my head and the constant talking, and like my head is very loud, was actually not me. Like that was separate to me. I was observing it, but there was a stiller, quieter, much more wise part of me that I could access through different things. And for me, yoga was definitely the entry point, later on meditation. But it's interesting as you talk, I wonder for other people, what are the things that are coming to their mind that bring that awareness that there's a deeper voice in there? And I know part of your practice has become connected to labyrinths, which I really want to go down, because I only literally just walked a labyrinth like in January this year when I went away with my daughter. Was that also just a knowing that you needed to start doing that kind of meditative kind of practice, or how did that unfold? I'm really curious.
I had been a transcendental meditator for 30 years. I learned in my 20s.
Yep.
And I loved meditation in the way that it's taught, just with sitting in silence. But when I got into my 50s, I felt like my body needed to move.
Yes.
Something needed, like I needed to shake my body awake.
Yep.
And so walking a labyrinth was the way that I could move. It's a moving meditation that has the same benefits, but you're outside in nature. And it's not a maze. It's not to confuse you. There's one way in and one way out when you walk a labyrinth.
Yes.
And so it's just so supportive. It's like you're entering this portal, this portal of your spirit team that awaits you at the entrance, waiting for you to be able to hear the unseen speak to you. And right now, in this noisy world, we are desperate to hear that wise counsel. We are absolutely desperate, because that's what's going to allow us to be our truest expression. And why else are we here?
Yeah, exactly. We're not mucking around, folks. Like, we're here to deliver something to the world. As you were talking then, I've just got this picture of I quite often have a jukebox in my head. I think that's partly ADHD. I'm not really sure, but often when I'm having conversations, I've also got a music track that my I don't know, brain, whatever it is, picks that's playing. But what I got then instead is like your spirit team as you're walking towards the labyrinth going, yeah, she's coming home. Like clapping their hands. It's very cool.
And as women, we have forgotten how to play.
Yeah.
And so literally I felt like I would enter this portal of play, of like lightness. And that's the way we actually access soul's voice, is we've got to leave the dense heaviness of everything that we hold. Think about everything we hold. We hold our kids' emotions. We hold the worry of the world. We
Yeah.
hold so much.
Mm-hmm.
This work that I've come upon and that I teach now lets all of that just release out of you.
Mm. That sounds pretty darn good to me, Elaine. How can you explain what a labyrinth is for people who are listening going, I'm not actually quite sure what you're talking about, because I think it is very important for people to understand it's not a maze. It's not, potentially where you find yourself in a, cul-de-sac and you're like, I need to go. I don't even know whether you use cul-de-sac as a word. I don't think you do. What's like
You
a
do.
dead end street? You do. Okay, there you go. Sorry. Sometimes I think using cultural references here. Yeah, can you explain what it is as opposed to a maze, please, just for people that don't
Yes. Well, it is over 4,000 years old, and it's what the ancients used to go within the journey to within, or the journey to God. And so this has been around for thousands of years, and it's the ancient way to connect to God, or connect to the power within you, or connect to universe. And it can be made out of stones, it can be made out of bricks, it can be made out of grass hedging, whatever the maze, the maze, and it's not a maze, but the design would be. It can also be found in churches, hospitals, schoolyards. Many people have them on private properties. And I do believe that they energetically are very, very healthy to the earth and to the neighborhoods in which they're placed. And so people don't know about them. They're usually hidden, but you can go on labyrinthlocator.com, and there's a worldwide labyrinthlocator.com, and you will find a labyrinth near you. If you don't have access to one, you can print one out and do a finger walking diagram. And I have one in the book. So, and it's so good for your brain health to be able to walk this path, because what it does is we're left brain, right brain. And what it does is it kind of commingles, and the two sides of your brain actually work together. And that's what helps you actually be able to tune in and get to the state that you get to tune in and be able to contact, like, your inner wisdom. So it's just super, super cool. And I would really, really suggest everybody at least once go out and walk a labyrinth.
Yes, and hopefully not with the interrupting children cutting in front of you that I had my experience with the first time. I actually waited until all the people with the children, I love little kids, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, I am having an intentional experience here. And then there's a kid in front of me, and then another one jumping, and I'm like, ah. Anyway, maybe that's part of the call, isn't it? To stay focused and to be yeah.
That's a great point, Kylie, because it's all about focus.
Focus, yeah.
And every path in Get Quiet is a particular focus, because we are so distracted that when we do have a quiet moment in between raising kids, or working full time, or taking care of elderly parents, or trying to take care of yourself, when we do have a quiet moment, this is a roadmap to, okay, this is what I need to focus on. So that's why it's so important. And energetically, if things don't move, then things don't change.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I actually thought when you said in your 50s you found that you needed to start moving, because I have never been more aware of that my body, like, I feel my most well and most grounded and most settled when I've gone for a really good long walk, preferably outside, not on a treadmill. I used to do that all the time, and now I'm like, what the heck was I thinking? But just getting out in nature. And I do feel like it's that because now we know somatically, like, bilateral movement is very soothing, right? Well, walking is a bilateral movement, so yeah, you're getting, yeah. But as you're talking, I feel like in midlife, we are shedding a lot of identity and shedding skins of what we're no longer available for and all of those things. And I do think that movement needs, I'm not going to tell people they need to, but for me, that shedding skins has also meant that I need to move myself so that the energy can just be released rather than kind of, I don't know, I felt for quite a while like I was kind of like there's a buildup of this tension because I was aware of things, but I wasn't letting anything actually go. And even going through the grieving process of letting things go, I feel like that's really important at
No,
all stages of life. Yeah, go, sorry.
You're very intuitive because really it's stuck energy that we're feeling.
Yeah.
And I remember, especially through, anytime we're grieving, the loss for me was a divorce, the loss of friends, the loss of my dad dying, like any type of loss that hits us and hits our bodies, it's like we get frozen. We get so stuck. And it really, for women, hits us around our heart, around our heart energy.
Yeah.
And so in Get Quiet, the second path is actually all about the heart energy and the walls that are built up around us. And the way to unstick that stagnant, stuck energy around our heart is to clean and clear out everything weighing heavy in our environment.
Speak to me more about this. Because I am on a mad declutter at the moment. If you are standing still in my house, you are going to be thrown in the bin. Like literally, I'm on a crazy, and usually that happens in spring for me, but we're going into winter and I'm just like, man, this has got to go. This has got to go. This has got to go. I'm giving that away. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, please tell us more about that.
Isn't it funny how we just know what needs to move intuitively? If we just listen to that and if we don't think we're crazy, or if people around us are like, no, don't throw that out, mom, or I used to hear that all the time, like, no, it's got to go.
I know, and then you sneak it into the bin when they're not at home. Yep, guilty.
It's just this because we really need to clean and clear our environments because we are a direct reflection of our environments. And so cleaning and clearing our home, cleaning and clearing our office space, our desks, our refrigerator, our cabinets, anything that's old, that's been sitting there stagnant, it's a direct reflection upon this human body that we have and our energy. And so it's all about cleaning and clearing that heart. It also can be the people in your life too. And even the people sleeping in your bed. I mean, it's everything. So it's this cleaning and clearing of all that no longer feels light. So this is about lightening your load. Because remember, to get to your soul's voice, to hear that quiet, subtle, wise voice, we have to be the lightness of being. So cleaning and clearing it out in your environment will open up that heart space. And that's how I actually fell in love again after my divorce. 8 years after my divorce, I remember doing a huge cleaning and clearing of my home. And my heart just opened. Like if I moved my couch just a little bit over to the left, I could see the tree in my backyard. Like just creating beauty in your home again. Because beauty is the antidote to suffering. That's what I believe.
Elaine, you've got to stop these quotes coming. I've got like 3 different quotes for you. No, say that again. Beauty is the antidote
to suffering.
To suffering. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love the language that you're using. And you're reminding me something that I've been aware of lately is, so I went through this big journey when I first hit the biggest shifts of perimenopause, where I was like, where am I abandoning myself? It was like really strong, big stuff. And now I feel like I'm on a bit of a different awareness of, I've cleaned out all of the big things. Like I've realigned myself to all of the things that are important to me. And now it's things like my comfort. is really important. So I used to do weird things like, I don't know, like if I had a podcast booked, I hadn't gone to the toilet, I would just not go to the toilet for another hour. Like little things like that. And I'm like, no, your comfort is important. And I've also begun really paying attention to beautifying my space. And I think it's the same sort of energy. It's like, do you agree that you get like all the big painful stuff or the out of alignment stuff? That's one level, but then it's like, well, what can I bring to my environment that's even more pleasant than it already is? Or what can I, what color do I really want this wall to be? Or, how do I want to, like, even, it's so silly, it's cold here today. So I've got knee-high boots on and bed socks because that's how I'm comfortable. Like, just, do you reckon that that's a thing, or is that just me? I feel like I've shed a lot, so I'm like, oh, now we're tweaking.
It is, and that is the tweaking. And you do shed, it reminds me just like nature, like eucalyptus trees, how they shed that bark.
Yes.
And at the end of all that shedding is that beautiful, beautiful, soft, smooth trunk of a tree.
That's a great
And
analogy.
it's really what we are doing right now, especially around midlife. We are shedding in ways that feel so good, but it is change, and change is a little bit scary.
Scary, yeah.
But when you go through this get quiet way that I've created, it's not so scary. And you just go bit by bit, and you do release the heavy stuff. Like you were saying, you release the heavy stuff, and then you have this open space to then fill it with what you want or not fill it.
Yes. Yeah, that's actually me as well.
And
I'm
that
like,
is
declutter.
that is very freeing.
Yeah.
That is very freeing. It's very liberating. It's how we live in freedom.
Freedom. I'm loving what you're saying. Freedom is my highest value. I actually would like to go back to something you said before. So when you're saying we're talking about environment and being connected to the heart space, when you were talking about like the stuckness that can happen in the heart space, can you tell us a little bit more about what you see most commonly? And it doesn't necessarily have to be the midlife transition, but just what can kind of get stuck in our heart space, and things that are, popping into my head are relationship based, but I don't think that's all that you're talking about. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, what comes to mind for me was self-betrayal. And yeah, we could just kind of take a breath on that, because I think everyone can relate to the self-betrayal. And that really is what I think most people are addicted to. And that is looking away at the truth of our lives.
Oh. I would like you to repeat that for the people that have just been hit over the head with a bat. No, honestly, these podcasts are like chiropractic adjustments of the soul when people say things like that, and then everyone's like, it's when you do that, like rewind for 15 seconds thing so you can hear it again. Could you say it again, please?
I was betraying myself, especially in my marriage. I was lying to myself. And I feel like people are addicted to one thing. And it doesn't have to be drugs or alcohol or food or anything like that. It could be a personality addiction to looking away at the truth of our lives.
Hey gorgeous, we interrupt this gold for a delicious invitation. If your whole body has been whispering more lately, more voice, more truth, more satisfaction, more clients of the soulmate variety, more cash, more you, then this invitation is for you. Potent, my sister mind is officially open. This is my high touch, holy fuck, I'm ready sister mind for rebels in good girl clothing who are done outsourcing their power and diluting their magic to fit into someone else's business formula. If you have been craving a space where your strategy, your voice, and your energy all get to be offered, honored, refined, and amplified, this is it. Inside of Potent, you'll get my eyes on your business every single week, copy mentoring, and that is for brand copy and content storytelling that turns your truth into client catnip. Energetic recalibration that helps you unhook old learned limitation patterns, keeping you quiet, not being seen, not being heard. Real-time, high-touch, one-on-one coaching that actually sees the bigness of your vision, and the kind of sisterhood that does not flinch when you show up in your full, messy, brilliant, phoenix rising from the ashes glory. This isn't surface level support. It's deep, potent, paradigm shifting work that changes who you are as a woman in business and a woman in life. We start in August. Early open access is open right now. For the month of June 2025, inside of this early access open doors period, you will receive juicy bonuses, extended payment plans, and access immediately to my entire library of storytelling gold. You'll find all the juicy details at kyliepatchett.com/potent. And we fill spaces, and there's only 10 of them, and more than likely only 5 by the time you listen to this, because by that time I will have offered them to the existing cohort, the beautiful original OG circle. We do actually take applications on a first come, first served basis. So come and apply, and let's get back to the magic of the episode. Youches. That I heard a Glennon Doyle episode. I talk about this all the time. I'm sure our listeners are very sick of me saying this, but I was listening to a Glennon Doyle episode, and I can't remember who she was interviewing, but the question was, where am I abandoning myself? And similar to the language that you just used, I was like, literally everywhere in my life. The way that I'm parenting, the way that I'm working back in corporate, the way that I'm partnering my husband, the way that I'm treating my physical body, everything. Like I just literally, and it was like literally being hit over the head by a bat. I was like, oh my goodness, I am at choice, and I'm choosing not to listen to the internal voice that's saying you are so off track, like so out of alignment to how you're meant to be living and what your natural way of being is. But I don't know, maybe it was that I was addicted to it. It's like, I almost feel like for me, it was tied to an energy of, I can't have what I really want, so I'm going to pretend that this is enough. And then I'm like, says who? Like, where did that crap come from? And I think you said before, like, everyone has a story, everyone has a generational pattern. I think that's probably one of my big ones, is like, oh no, that's not for us. It's like, who said it's not for us? Why can't I have a magical, amazing, freedom-filled, beauty-filled life and, have great conversations like this? Like, who said that's not for me? And I quite often will say, particularly to one person in my family that does repeat those things to me all the time, I'm like, oh, that's not my story. That might be your story, but it ain't mine. Because
and when we go and be the detective of our lives, because that's the way I looked at it. Like, let's have fun. Let's just be a detective of my life. And you can be the same thing. You can be a detective in your life. Start with your body. That's the first path in Get Quiet, is to nurture the body. And it's not about, racing marathons or getting in the pool and doing laps vigorously. Like, this is nurturing your body. Getting back to the truth of who we are, which are feminine, beautiful women, and connecting back to that femininity again. Because in so many years, we've had to make really difficult choices. We've had to be more in our masculine than ever before. And the second half of life is going into the pool and gracefully just playing and swimming, and it's a different type of movement.
Yeah,
And this
totally.
is how you reconnect with your femininity. This is how you reconnect with your creativity. This is how you reconnect to what your soul's calling is, because I believe when we get quiet enough, we will hear our soul's voice and know what our soul's calling is.
Yep.
And based upon the hundreds of clients, of coaching clients I have sat with, whenever they come to me with any physical ailment, any mental, emotional ailment, it is all because they have not said yes to their soul's calling.
Yep. I will 100% agree with you. 100%. Because it's like resisting nature. You're trying to stop the tree from shedding its leaves. It's like you are made with this calling inside of you because it's meant to be delivered to the world, and trying to resist that is like trying to push against nature, the universe. And that's why you feel so blinking stuck and uncomfortable, right? How do
It
you
is uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is deeply uncomfortable because it's holding yourself away from where you're meant to be. Um, why do you think it is so much harder for us to do that these days? And I think, like you touched on, more in our masculine. I think, I don't know, like we were definitely the generation that got sold that you could do it all, and then we did, and then we realized that we maybe that was not for our best, highest good in terms of health, at least. Um, why is it so hard for us to let go and let ourselves play and flow and just answer the call?
Fear,
Mm.
fear of letting ourselves down, letting other people down, the fear of not being loved.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's also easier. It's like easier to be distracted. It's easier to eat cookies and Cheetos than it is,
Yeah.
a healthy meal. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's so much fear being typed into our lives,
Yeah.
whether it's through the media, whether it's unhealthy food, whether it's just we've gotten away from being our natural
Yes.
human beings.
Mm.
And so it's like getting quiet in the way that I describe in Get Quiet the book. It's it's the pathway to getting back to this natural state of being. And when you connect and reconnect with your natural state
Mm.
after all the noise that you've filled your energy field with,
Yep.
like it feels like a homecoming.
Mm.
It feels
Yeah.
like a rebirth. And in the labyrinth is where I found this rebirth. It is
Mm.
where I was able to hear my soul's voice. And believe me, I thought sometimes it was crazy talk, Kylie. But every time I'd go in there, I'd hear a clear message from my spirit team.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to be open to this.
Yep.
But I feel like this is what's causing a lot of suffering, is that we've disconnected to the unseen. We've disconnected and stopped our conversations with God.
Yeah.
This is real. This is available to all of you.
Mm.
And it's an important part of being a human being,
Yeah.
is to be able to connect our bodies
Mm-hmm.
with our souls and have them working together to create
Yes.
the best life we possibly can.
Yeah.
And it's available to everybody. But right now we are fighting this modern world, but this is how you get healthy in a sick world.
Mm. As you're talking, I'm feeling back into the last corporate job I had, which was in this super brightly fluorescently lit office. I was in a corner, so I had my back to my entire team, was constantly interrupted, didn't take lunch breaks, didn't like, I just look at how sick I was, and that all culminated in a huge mental health crisis, really. And I now understand that part of that was the shifting sands of perimenopause and hormones. But I think that is also nature by design. That was like, if you haven't listened to the wise woman yet, you are being called really loudly and possibly quite uncomfortably, is certainly my experience, to align yourself to all the things that you know are not. And I just look at the way that we're living and I'm like, I know people that drive in an air-conditioned car, go to an air-conditioned office, never go outside, are always in fluorescently lit environments. And I think, why are we wondering why we're not satisfied? Like, I'm not going to use the word happy because I think happy has been so convoluted with all the marketing, have this and you'll be happy type of stuff, but deeply satisfied, content, fulfilled, like whatever word that you want to use. Like, it's not a surprise that we're not feeling like that when we're so disconnected from, like we're living in a 24-hour society and we're meant to be asleep at, 8:30 or whatever, like whatever it would naturally be without a massive light above your head. And I don't know, like, I don't know, my kids will be like, oh, mum's always been a bit of a hippie. But I'm like, if a hippie means I want to live as close to how we are designed to live, then yes, I'm a hippie. You can use that label. Because,
Well,
yeah,
I believe that you being a hippie is really what the world needs right now, because we've gotten so off course from our natural state.
mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, we've got the fluorescent lights, but then we don't sleep well. Well, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
There's a medication for that. And
Ah,
so, there's always something for the thing that we're not supposed to be doing.
mm-hmm.
And this is this is who's in power. The big pharma, the big food has taken over.
Yeah.
And literally we are fighting for our very existence right now. Like we are in a like extinction period. And if we don't wake up, and people like you and people like me who have found ways to maintain this beautiful being a human being, it's like we need to appreciate life. Like it's almost like we've lost the appreciation of just life itself.
Yeah. I listened to an interview the other day and they were talking about awe, and it was someone who was talking about a book called Awe that was written, not the author, but someone else. And I just thought that is actually, because I live in a country town, we have unconsciously and consciously very much simplified our life. And I've just spent time away in a beautiful place in New Zealand, and walked like, 100 Ks in a week by myself, like solo walking time, and just natural beauty, just astoundingly gorgeous. And I felt so well, and it could come off the back of a really busy period of business, but also study. And again, totally disconnected from myself, having a lot of trouble sleeping. Well, of course you are, because you're living on cortisol and you're not giving yourself any rest time and you're not connected to nature and you're not whatever. So now that I'm back, one of the things that I've been really conscious of keeping is all the ritual of, like, we have a really big veggie garden, going out and looking at that. Like, we've got the tree outside my window. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but it's a fruit called a loquat, which is Loquat. They're really odd, kind of sour fruit, but anyway. But our tree is covered in these white blossoms at the moment, and we've got beehives, and there's so many of our bees, or they may not be our bees, but anyway, someone's bees, pollinating at the moment. The whole tree is buzzing. And I'm just like, that light energy that you talked about before, and the playfulness and the remembering, it's like, if you actually stop and look around you, there's so much to appreciate and so much that is awe-inspiring. Like, you look at a tree, like, this is sometimes my brain, but you look at a tree and there's like hundreds of bees around it, and just like, we are part of this magic. That is so cool. But
And you're talking about the path that I call it on the Labyrinth is the path of presence.
Yeah,
This is what
far
you're
out.
talking about, is
I've
being
stolen myself.
present.
Yeah, sorry.
And when we are not present and we add up all those moments that we haven't been present, a lifetime can pass by.
That's
And what I
scary, isn't it?
believe is that people say, I'm missing something, I don't know what. And I believe that what we're missing is ourselves.
Yep.
And so in the presence and in the looking at the bees and in the looking at those white flowers, you're finding it's a mirror of yourself because you are nature. We
Yeah.
are nature.
Well, that's
And
what
when
I'm
we,
like, that's so cool though.
yes, yeah. And that's the magic. And those are the moments. And, we're always looking for this big, experience to happen.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go to the Himalayas to, find this big aha. You just have to sit on your porch in your rocking chair and
Mm-hmm.
quiet, or
And
walk a
notice.
labyrinth
Yeah.
and just be present.
Yeah.
And your life will become magical, and you will be able to tune in to that
Mm.
still small voice
Mm.
guiding you in the right direction. And you don't ever have to feel lost again.
Yeah. And you never have to wonder what, because I feel like you've hit the nail on the head. There's often, it's like I'm missing something. I need to fix something. I need to look for something. It's like that strivey, drivey energy, which I definitely have perfected in the first few decades of my life. And I'm like, what would feeling like there was no rush and it was just about enjoying the present moment and then the next one and then the next one. And do you know, 80% of what would be normally in my head just disappears when I change that lens. And I'm like, thought that this is going to quiet down all of the to-do list. But that is what you're talking about, is like accessing that small, quiet voice. I always choose a word each year. I've done that for years. And sometimes I choose a word and then it delivers itself in ways that I did not want. And I'm like, ugh. Anyway, this year an archetype more so came to me, and it's the Empress. And I've got this beautiful picture of the Empress as far as like a tarot kind of archetype. Um, and yeah, when I was reading back through, because when I first got that kind of download, I was like, no, that is not my energy, because she's just sitting back on her throne and there's nature all around her, all this magic, and she's just simply resting there as part of the magic, but there's no strive and there's no, it's all receptive. And anyway, she wouldn't go away, so I was like, okay, fair enough, this is what I'm meant to be trying on for size. And when I look at that picture, what you're talking about, that stillness and the receptivity and the connection to that cyclical nature, that's what I feel. It's the same as the picture. I've got her right next to me. Same as the picture of her, how you're describing that. So thank you for the gift of that, because you've just connected two different things. I'm wondering, what is the most scary, or most, no, not scary. What is the thing that your still quiet voice has told you to do that you've had the most fear resistance around?
That I'm a healer.
Mm. Yep.
And, again, who am I to be a healer? What is a healer? And what would that even look like?
Yep.
And why did that come to me? Why can't I just be like a normal person working a corporate,
No, right.
um, that struck me, and I had to figure out what that meant for me, what that would look like. And now I know that because I did accept it, and I did accept the challenge, and I accepted the voice and I trusted it, because I would see synchronicities all around me when I said, okay, yes, I'm ready. And so now that's what I do. I facilitate healing.
Yeah, so cool. How early was that sense of knowing about that in your journey?
I would say that when I started walking the labyrinth and really quieting my life, I heard that almost the second or third time inside the labyrinth. Yeah, it was a clear voice that said, you are a healer. And it was just like as if somebody was standing next to me telling me that. And that's what will happen when you enter this portal of yumminess, of love. you will hear your soul's voice guiding you.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is trust it and say yes. And the moment you do, your whole entire life will change.
Yeah.
And you will have the direction. Like I said, you will have probably felt very lost, but when you walk that labyrinth, you will be found.
Very cool. I imagine, because what I want everyone to hear is we wouldn't be having this conversation if you said no. You wouldn't have written a book if you'd said no. You wouldn't have helped coach hundreds of people if you'd said no. You wouldn't have catalyzed the ripple effect through all of those people and then into their lives and their families and the way that they live and the way that they choose to listen to themselves if you'd said no. And so I think sometimes not sometimes, all the time, when the fear voice is being the loudest, it's trying to protect you, but it's actually not showing you the impact that saying yes can have, not just on your life, but everybody that you interact with. So I work a lot with people in the copywriting side of my business who are healers and helpers. And quite often I will hear similar sort of thing, like, I knew at this stage, but often, unlike you, there's a lot of resistance across the years. And then finally, and generally, like you said, unfortunately, it's often the very challenging things that bring us to our knees that then allow us to say yes to bigger or different ways of doing, not bigger, different ways of doing things.
Right.
But yeah,
I mean, my plan was not working clearly.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the other thing. It's like,
and so I had to find a different plan. And really for me, it was God's plan that came in clearly, that I said yes to and I surrendered to. And it's the best thing that I've ever done in my whole entire life, is to surrender to that plan, to trust it, to create a state of being so that I'm always, it's always available to me to hear.
Yeah.
And know that I'm here to help people expand in consciousness and to bring love to this world.
Okay, now the jukebox is playing "The Power of Love." Do, 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 do.
Well, it's funny because today it brought me to tears. This is just another like present moment. I'm in my car and I'm thinking about you, and I can't wait to be here with you because I love your title of your podcast.
Thank you.
And it's like the best title ever. And I think it was the Commodores, like Lionel Richie, "Sweet Love" came on.
Yeah.
And I just started bawling. I was like, oh my God, like it just moved, like it moved me. And when we're present to just these little things, it's like, oh, I feel alive again. Like I feel human again.
Yes.
And those are the moments that matter. Those are the moments that become our life. And so anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you.
That's so cool.
With your Power of Love song. And I had a Sweet Love come on today.
Now I'm going to have, I bet you the jukebox,
all this love.
The jukebox will now be playing just love soundtrack all day, which is fine. That's a good way of getting through the day. This has been such a joy. I want to give you a chance to tell us about the book. The book, by the time this is out, will actually be available. Right now, you've got one more week when we're recording for it to be. So I'm so excited for you to be able to release this into the world. Now, you have said about a couple of the different paths in the labyrinth, but in the book, you've got 7 total paths, which focuses. Is that right? Tell us a little bit more about the book.
Yeah, so it's based off of the things that I learned walking a 7-circuit labyrinth that we talked about before.
Yeah, perfect.
And each path, each circuit, which I call a path, is around a certain focus. So that when we're distracted in life, we just come back to these paths and we know what to focus on in order to change our lives for the best. So I'll go over each path in the book. And it's super cool too, because what's unique is that you don't even have to go and walk a labyrinth if you don't want to, because just reading the book, you will read the book because it is designed and written in the order that the labyrinth would be if you were walking it. So you get the same healing benefits. And then on top of that, what came to me in the labyrinth when I got really quiet were these 8 energy points. So each path has an energy point.
Yes.
Because I believe energy medicine is really the way of the future. And so this is my muse, God, call it whatever you want, grabbed a hold of me and said, you got to bring down these 8 energy points in the way and in the pattern in which they were brought to me. And so it's really, at the end of the book, you're left with a body scan, because so many times we've lost being able to be in tune with our bodies. And so this energy medicine body scan will help you tune back into your body and see what needs to be adjusted to create harmony and good health. And so it's fun and it's playful and it's imaginative and it feels good. Sometimes when I wake up in the middle of the night because I can't, get back to sleep in midlife.
4 o'clock, I'm wide awake.
I just do the body scan and I fall right back asleep.
Oh, nice. I'm going to get me a copy as soon as this baby gets out in the world. Thank you so much. You've been such a joy. I knew you would be. But yes, you have just brought such a beautiful lightness to my day. And thank you for sharing everything that you've shared. So many different good quotes. Like I said, you're just going to have to calm down on this because I'm going to have 3 different quotes for this episode. Thank you so much. Please tell everybody where they can find the book and also your online home. And we'll put them in the show notes as well. But just so if someone's driving and they want to hear.
Yes. Very simple. It's ElaineGlass.com is where they can find me. Perfect. And they can find the book at getquiet.com or anywhere they buy their books. Exciting. And it's also on Audible because I read the Audible. And what's really delicious is that each chapter, I told you about the energy point.
Yes.
In the Audible, when you listen to it, they've created like a meditation visualization to music in each chapter. Yeah.
Oh, and you've got such a beautiful voice. So the Audible book would be, so lovely. So cool. Thank you so much. What a beautiful way to continue my day of interviewing. And may you have a beautiful evening. And thank you for sharing.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Kylie.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much for tuning in, my friend. And if you enjoyed this ep, please share it with another midlife friend or take the opportunity to go and rate and review the show on your favorite listening platform. All of these things really help us to reach more women in midlife. Now, I don't know if you know, but I am both a storyteller who helps healers and helpers capture and communicate their work through the magic of storytelling. And I'm a midlife self-care coach who is super passionate about helping other women reframe perimenopause and midlife as a powerful and purposeful time of transformation. To find out more about me and my work, you can head to Instagram at Kylie Patchett or my website, kpcreative.com.au, and that is kpcreative.com.au, and you will find all of those links in the show notes. Have a spectacular day, and may you be setting yourself wild and finally fucking free.